go-getters. Thanks for stopping by the shop today. As you can see, we have a nice little project today. We have a Toro TimeCutter that we're going to be putting a recycler kit on, or also known as a mulch kit. Pretty simple job, so we're going to go over exactly what you got to do, how to put it on, and also talk about what a mulch kit can do for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as we upload videos weekly on all types of different repairs, installs, troubleshooting across all types of equipment: lawnmowers, chainsaws, blowers, weed eaters, zero turns. All right, so to start with, this is our recycler kit from Toro. It comes with one large baffle that basically will bolt underneath the deck, and the object of this thing is to keep most of the material under the deck and keep it recycling so that the blades can chop it up as fine as possible and to basically pulverize it into tiny little pieces, aka mulch it up. So the kit comes with the baffle. You get a set of blades, and these blades have a higher lip on them, and that helps throw this debris around and keeps it in these baffles so that it can chop it up as much as possible. You also get some instructions and a sticker so that you can say you're now a recycler. And this is a pretty straightforward installation. If you have a set of hand tools and possibly a jack or some car ramps or something like that, you can definitely tackle this job yourself in the driveway at home. So we're going to go over what you got to do. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to lift the front of the mower up so we can get access under the deck. All right, pretty straightforward. We have the front of the mower raised up so we can get under the deck. And the first thing we're going to do is remove the old blades. So for that, we're going to need a 5/8 socket. And I'm going to use an impact gun. If you do not have one of those, you can remove those with a ratchet. It can be a little difficult sometimes, but if you're doing that method, I've found if you jam a piece of wood or something in between the blade and the deck, you just kind of got to find a sweet spot and try to wedge it somehow, and that will hold the blade for you to be able to loosen that nut. Otherwise, I highly recommend you can go and pick you up a cheap impact gun, electric version. If you don't have air tools or anything like that, from Harbor Freight. They're pretty cheap now. You can usually get a decent home use impact gun for probably around $100 or less, give or take on the model or the option you pick. All right, we're going to grab our tools. We're going to get our blades off. Now that we have our old blades off, we're going to install the new recycling blades. I do want to note, make sure that you install your blades correctly, as there is a hole right here that you need to make sure lines up and goes over this recessed washer. Make sure it's lined up correctly, and then install your bolt. And do the same thing for the other side. All right, now that we got our new blades installed, now we can work on getting the baffle installed. And as a note real quick, the instructions that they send you are very useful. They have some pictures in here to kind of explain what you need to do. In that kit, you're going to receive 2 carriage head bolts and 4 nylon lock nuts, along with your recycling sticker and your baffle assembly with the 2 blades in the kit. That is what you're going to receive. All right, so now we are ready to install the baffle underneath the deck. And I want to show you up here on top of the deck, we're going to be lining up the baffle. There's 2 bolts that's made onto this baffle. As you can see, there's one there in the middle, one here, and I'm going to show you the holes they go in. So we're going to line up the hole here, and then you have a hole right here where the discharge would be. So we're going to line those up real quick, and then we're going to get our 2 nylon lock nuts and get ready to thread them on. Alright, so now that we have the baffle temporarily hanging from the 2 studs, that's where one nut's going to go. And then underneath here, that is where the other one would go. Now we're going to get the rest of the hardware installed and tighten everything up. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we got to put a carriage bolt and a nut right there on the discharge side. We're going to grab one of our carriage bolts and a nut. We're going to line up this hole like so. And then the final carriage bolt and nut will go right here in this hole through the baffle. So we're going to line up that hole. And that's all there is to it. So now we're going to get some tools and we're going to tighten up all of our nuts, and this mulch kit will be fully installed. Alright, we have a 1/2 inch socket here, and we're going to go ahead and start tightening everything up. Alright, we have all of our hardware tightened up. So the next thing we're going to do is rotate our blades and just make sure we have plenty of clearance between our new baffles we installed. And it looks like everything is fitting perfectly. So that is it. We have the recycling kit installed. As you can see, it seals off the deck. So you will no longer have any debris trying to shoot out the side of the discharge chute. Everything will stay under the deck and will basically be very, very mulched up. So now you can kind of see how everything stays under the deck, recycles it very well. It's just going to keep chopping it up into very fine particles, and pretty simple install. All right, we are almost done. The last thing we gotta do is install the recycler decal on our deck. All right, everybody, as you see, we have our Toro TimeCutter recycling kit fully installed. Very simple, straightforward install. Again, anybody should be able to do this in their driveway with a set of hand tools and some car ramps or a floor jack or something like that. Definitely an easy job to do for sure. So some of the perks with having a recycling kit or a mulching kit, number one perk I think is honestly, it keeps you from breaking windows and damaging cars. It seals off the deck, so you don't have any of the flying debris, pine cones, rocks, sticks like that, flying out of the deck and actually being able to hit a car or a window or a door window or something like that and cause damage. So that's one benefit to having a mulch kit. It keeps everything under the deck and it makes everything a lot safer. Perk number 2 would be the fact that if you have a lot of leaves and trees around your yard, it'll obviously save you a tremendous amount of time on trying to rake up leaves and pick up yard debris. As with a recycling kit, you can run the leaves over and it's going to pulverize them and chop them up into tiny little pieces that you would hardly even notice, and it'll almost look like you bagged everything up or raked them up. Definitely worth it for someone that has lots of leaves in their yard. The third perk would be the fact that normally if this deck was open like it comes, where it just discharges everything out the side of the deck, usually you'll get, you know, the yard clumps or debris lines in your yard. The recycling kit's going to take that away for you. It's going to make it look like you bagged it. So it takes care of that, and it kind of definitely makes the yard look a lot cleaner. You won't have, you know, the lines of clumps from the grass being thrown out the side of the deck. It's going to look pretty good. So yeah, definitely it'll make your yard look pretty nice. It'll keep all the clumps out, pick up the leaves and chop them up real good. Everything's going to look really nice. Now you do have to maintain your yard and cut frequent. If you let your grass get really tall with a mulching kit or recycling kit, you can develop a lot of thatch and clumps if you're trying to cut really tall grass. So you're definitely going to want to cut your grass at least once a week. That way it keeps it to where you're only taking a little bit off the top, and it'll definitely mulch it up and make it disappear, and it'll look nice. So again, I hope the video helps you guys out. Again, this was an easy install. And don't forget, if this is the first time you're stopping by the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, as we upload videos weekly on all types of different repairs, installs, troubleshooting across all types of equipment: lawnmowers, chainsaws, blowers, weed eaters, zero turns. So I'm sure we'll have a video that's going to help you out in the future. So definitely subscribe to the channel. Also, go down, give the video a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to comment on the video. Tell us what you think of the install, or if you have a problem with your equipment, put a comment down there and we'll see if we can help you out in the comment section. But as always, stay safe out there. We'll see you guys on the next one.